I'm Paul Perkins with the check of your ag weather. After one last day of heat and highs in the mid-90s to the low 100s, tomorrow is 15 degrees cooler than today in behind a cold front with highs in the 80s. Wednesday, we will see a warm front boost our highs into the mid-80s to the mid-90s in most of Nebraska and into the upper 90s to the low 100s over southwest Nebraska and northern Kansas. Thunderstorm chances are back by Wednesday through the weekend as we see waves of low pressure move across the plains. Highest chances are Wednesday night and Thursday night. Widespread severe storms appear unlikely, but some of those storms Wednesday night could be on the stronger side. The unsettled weather leads to cooler than normal highs that are mostly in the mid-70s to the mid-80s for Thursday through the weekend. Checking our long-term forecast, Nebraska and Kansas temperatures likely to stay cooler than normal this weekend through early next week before a switch to seasonal to slightly warmer than normal temperatures the middle of next week through August 18th. Nebraska and Kansas rainfall indicated to be above normal this weekend through August 18th. The higher chances of rainfall are this weekend through early next week. Key weather factors impacting the markets include cooler temperatures for the Corn Belt, flooding rains from Hurricane Debbie across the southeast, and late rainfall for the Canadian prairies. A strong summer cold front presses southward, reaching the southern plains and the mid-Atlantic states during the mid to late week. As the tail of the front interacts with the southwestern monsoon flow of moisture, rainfall could become heavy in central and southern sections of the Rockies and plains. Across the central and southern plains, any rainfall is helpful for filling corn and soybeans, especially towards the northern areas. With steering currents in the vicinity of Hurricane Debbie starting to collapse, the southeastern U.S. is bracing for a protracted heavy rain event the next 5 days that could result in 10 to 20-inch rain totals, even isolated amounts near 30 inches, especially along and near the southern Atlantic coast from near Savannah, Georgia, into southeastern North Carolina. Even after the storm surge and winds diminish, torrential rainfall is likely to continue while the former hurricane meanders over the southern Atlantic states or just offshore. Towards eastern areas of the Midwest, the path of Hurricane Debbie may bring some rain later this week. Dryness in other areas of the Midwest is not favorable for filling corn and soybeans, but cooler temperatures may offset some of that stress. In the Canadian prairies, rainfall this past weekend was not very heavy or widespread. A slow-moving system is expected to bring widespread rain and cooler temperatures this week to the Canadian prairies. The improving conditions are too late for much of the wheat and canola crops in the Canadian prairies. In fact, the rain in the Canadian prairies this week could lead to quality issues in some areas while delaying any early harvest. With the check of your ag weather, I'm Paul Perkins.